Yo guys, what's up? It's Monkey. I'm back for another video. In today's video, we will be doing another Dragon Ball What If. Yes, we will be doing What If Goku Had a Sister. I've also decided that I'm going to be uploading What Ifs a lot more frequently from now on. So yeah, get hyped. But before we get into the video, I'd like to say make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So help me out because we're getting there. Every day we're gaining subs. So keep subbing, keep supporting your boy. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you do enjoy. As well as that, make sure you turn on the bell so you know as soon as I upload. Make sure you share the video too with someone who might enjoy it. And go follow my Instagram, which is @AndrezoWorks. And with all that said, let's get right into it. So the training for the Saiyans begins. With Goku, Tursa, Gohan and Piccolo all training. Tursa would go on to meet all the Z fighters and she would be welcomed. So she would begin her training, often going with Goku and Gohan and spending time with his family. So Chi-Chi and the Ox King and all those people. If she wasn't doing that, she would most likely be off training with Piccolo. Meanwhile, the other Z fighters still trained with Kami like in the original. Now, Tursa would actually decide not to wish her people back. Not yet. She knows that eventually the two Saiyans will go to Planet Eariler, expecting to find her there. And once they find nothing there, they'll hopefully just come straight to Earth. And she is correct. We would then see the two Saiyan space pods arrive at Eariler. Vegeta and Nappa step out, now seeing the planet in its state. This would actually sadden Nappa. He couldn't detect any life with his scouter. Vegeta would scoff at the planet, saying, "Look at the state of this planet. There's no point in even going down there. There's no way we'll even set it." Nappa, however, would stay silent. He was thinking how sad it was. The sister of Raditz must be so sad. She's had her planet taken away from her. Nappa remembers when he had Planet Vegeta taken away from him, and he looked at Vegeta. "Well, Vegeta, let's go." Vegeta, however, was still looking at the planet. How disgusting. He then would raise his hand and obliterate the planet. Nappa had a shocked expression on his face. "But why, Vegeta? What do you mean, why? I couldn't stand seeing this excuse for our planet. There's no life on it, and it's just essentially a speck of dust in the grand scheme of things." Vegeta then turned and he laughed. "Hey, Nappa, look behind you. Ha, 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 ha. I think that's Raditz's corpse." Nappa turned around and he saw in the distance Raditz's decaying body floating around. He said in a quiet voice, "Let's just go, Vegeta." Vegeta scoffed. "What's gotten into you?" And so they made their way to Earth. Tursa had now been accustomed to Earth. She was spending her time living at Goku's house, and she was happy to be there. She would help Chi-Chi with things like looking after Gohan and training him, as well as some of the cooking and cleaning. She was also given a new gi after having trained with both Goku and Piccolo. She thought a mix of them was nice, and she began to like it there. However, there were times where, she was homesick. But she was able to endure it because she knew she just had to wait for those two Saiyans to arrive and she would defeat them. And then she could return home. Although, in a way, she felt as if Earth was already her home. She liked it there. She hadn't had any romantic interests in anybody on Earth, which she didn't really care about, as she didn't think she'd settle down there anyways. Then she sensed it. That key. Oh no. It must be. All the Z fighters began to sense it. It had come. The Saiyans had arrived. After 3 or 2 years of training, they must have been ready. The Saiyans were here. Tursa told Chi-Chi before she left she would make sure Gohan would stay safe. To which all the Z fighters arrived, ready for the fight. Nappa and Vegeta arrived, facing off against the gang. Vegeta mocks Tursa as he looked at her. "Huh. How pitiful, a Saiyan elite like you. Grew up on that planet earlier, was it?" Tursa looks at Vegeta angrily. Nappa, however, would stay silent. Vegeta says to Nappa, "Well, Nappa, get out of Cybermen." Everybody is quite a bit stronger because of course, Tursa being there, and Tursa would be at around a power level of 12,000. while the others would have increased considerably from their counterparts, with Goku being around the same and Piccolo being a bit stronger. Of course, the Cybermen would all be easy to take out, to which Tursa would actually defeat most of them herself. Yamcha also would not die. Thank God he didn't die to a Cyberman. Tursa would look at Nappa, who would say, I'm sorry. Tursa would then be taken aback. Why are you saying sorry? For what happened to your planet, and for all you've been through. A Saiyan elite like you should not be treated like that. Tursa looked at him angrily. A Saiyan elite? I don't care about any of that. All I want is to be strong, have a good fight, and live in peace. Nappa smiled. If only every other Saiyan elite could have been like you. Vegeta was starting to get angry. Nappa, what do you think you're doing? I want you to kill the girl right now. She's a woman. I don't care if she's a Saiyan elite. She's allied. She's allied herself with these trash. And as well as that, her brother Kakarot is a low-class warrior. I am the prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta, I order you to kill them, Nappa. Nappa, however, turned around. Vegeta, I think we should forget about the Dragon Balls. I think we should forget about them. Vegeta looked at Nappa in shock. How dare you? How dare you defy me? Listen, Vegeta, I realized something when you destroyed that girl's planet. It most likely wasn't a meteor that destroyed Planet Vegeta. It was probably Frieza. And what if it was Frieza? I have had enough of serving under Frieza. Nappa would then say, I've had enough of serving under Frieza. This girl is a Saiyan elite. Look at how she's made a life for herself on this planet, even after going through so much and having a planet taken away from her. Maybe we could do something like that. Maybe we wouldn't have to face Frieza. We could live in, not peace, but maybe we could try and overthrow him or something. There was a silence. Tursa was speechless, and so was Vegeta. However, just then, Tursa saw something. A fist had punched through Nappa. Yes, Vegeta had just punched Nappa in the stomach. Nappa fell to the ground, clenching his stomach. I'll dispose of you in a second, after I kill all these fools. Tursa stepped forward, with Goku then looking at Tursa. I'll take Vegeta. Tursa looked down. She breathed in as she walked towards Nappa. Meanwhile, Goku told Vegeta, Vegeta, was it? You're the Prince of all Saiyans, huh? Well, come here with me. So Goku, Vegeta would go off to the rocky canyons of the Gizzard Wasteland. Meanwhile, Tursa knelt down next to Nappa. And as well as that, Piccolo actually went to the rocky canyon with Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta laughed. So, a Namekian and a low-class Saiyan shall be my first opponents. Interesting. Goku looked at Vegeta as they both got into those iconic stances. Goku and Vegeta's battle began. It was fierce. Goku was stronger than the original, but he didn't have the Kaioken, so Goku was currently losing. However, Piccolo decided he would join in, and now we had Goku and Piccolo versus Vegeta, kind of similar to Goku and Piccolo v Raditz. So Vegeta would realize that he was actually maybe starting to lose. However, he smiled. So, you think the teamwork will defeat me? You underestimate me, Kakarot. Just then, Vegeta threw something into the sky. It was a power ball. What? A power ball? So you might be wondering what is about to happen now that Vegeta has thrown a power ball. However, let's go back to the other Z fighters. Now, they had either been watching Vegeta v Goku and Piccolo or going to Nappa. Tursa knelt down next to Nappa, who was now clearly bleeding. Now, Nappa didn't have a full hole in his chest, but Vegeta had done quite a bit of damage, punching Nappa in the stomach. Now, she asked for a senzu bean, to which Krillin was kind of hesitant. Nappa ate the bean and he began to get up. Gohan decided to come and help. They helped Nappa to his feet and they asked him why he did that. Why he essentially just betrayed Vegeta. Nappa laughed and said, well, I suppose you, Tursa, are what I always hoped Vegeta would be. But now, after serving Frieza for so long, I realized that I mean nothing to the prince. He would have eventually killed me sooner or later. Tursa was shocked. She told Nappa to stay here and she would come back for him. They had to go help Goku against Vegeta, as well as Piccolo, and the remaining Z fighters, that being Tien, Yamcha, and Gohan, made their way off to where Goku and Piccolo was, as well as Krillin, who had been watching in fear. Vegeta grew in size as he looked up at the power ball. He was a great ape now. Vegeta's power level would be around 180,000, and this was huge. It was no joke. His power was insane. It was way past anybody there, and so Goku and Piccolo began to try and fight the beast off, but they soon would come to realize something. They were completely outmatched. The other Z fighters arrived, and so they began to help, but they all realized it was hopeless. Vegeta was just too strong. We would then get some very sad moments. Firstly, Chaozu would try to sacrifice himself by exploding himself onto Vegeta, and it would fail. Tien, in a fury, would rush Vegeta out for revenge, but with a mouth blast from Vegeta, he would absolutely incinerate Tien. Next would come Yamcha, who would try and attack Vegeta, but he would be crushed by Vegeta's foot, completely left on the ground, just like in the original. At least he didn't die to a Cyberman, though. Now, the remaining fighters were Tursa, Goku, Piccolo, and Krillin, and Gohan, and they had to figure out a way to defeat him. Piccolo decided that he had an idea, but it was a really risky one. Tursa told Piccolo that to just do his idea, if it would defeat Vegeta, then she didn't care what it was. Piccolo then flew back away from Vegeta, and he began to charge up. He told him that he needed at least around 5 minutes to charge up a special beam cannon. But he said it would take a long time, but it would definitely kill Vegeta. Now, Vegeta laughed. "Ah, so you think you'll all be alive in 5 minutes? Vegeta would laugh. The next person he targeted was Tursa. "You shall die next." Tursa was able to avoid most of Vegeta's attacks, but only barely. It was then that Vegeta would make a fatal error. He said to Tursa, "Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, but you know that planet you grew up on? That wretched world? Well, it's gone." Tursa didn't know what to say. She looked in shock at Vegeta. What? Yes, you see, I completely obliterated it." Vegeta began to laugh. Tursa then, she didn't know what to do. She began to shake, and she screamed, receiving a rage boost. She flew directly at Vegeta, landing multiple hits on him. She would make sure the prince would die, screaming insult after insult, landing multiple attacks. However, Vegeta managed to land a single hit on Tursa because she was blinded by fury. Tursa was sent flying back, hitting a rock. However, Tursa's rage boost had weakened Vegeta considerably. He was angry. As Tursa hit a rock, she fell completely unconscious. She was completely out. Vegeta walked towards her, ready to kill her with a mouth blast. However, Gohan and Krillin looked in fear. They didn't know what to do. Goku tried to stop Vegeta, but Goku had been considerably weakened. He tried to attack Vegeta, but Goku was like a fly compared to Vegeta. They didn't know what to do, but just then, a white ball appeared in the sky, and an energy blast hit Vegeta. It was Nappa. He had fired his own power ball. Gohan decided to look up at the power ball, and both Gohan and Nappa became Uzarus. Nappa attacked from behind, while Gohan defended Tursa from the front. With their combined efforts, they were able to fight the prince. Gohan managed to land a couple of hits on Vegeta, but he lacked control, and Nappa was simply too weak. So they began to try and fight Vegeta, but they were beginning to be defeated. Gohan was trying his best, but he was the first to go down. Gohan had managed to land a couple of considerably good attacks on Vegeta, but it hadn't been too effective as Gohan was pretty weak for, an Uzaru compared to Vegeta. So Gohan fell down. Nappa was panicked. He didn't know what to do. Uzaru Nappa was beginning to lose. Vegeta was just too strong. However, just then, Nappa had an idea. He saw Piccolo charging up a special beam cannon. He saw that he couldn't just let Tursa die. So, what would he do? He then decided he would clench onto Vegeta, holding the prince in a sort of hugging grab. Vegeta yelled at Nappa, What do you think you're doing?" Nappa began to hold Vegeta even tighter so he couldn't move. Just as Vegeta began to scream out, Nappa said that they had to do it now, whatever they were planning. Someone just then screamed something out. Piccolo had said that he was done, and he yelled, "Special beam cannon!" The beam flew towards Vegeta, killing him but Nappa as well in the process. The beam pierced through both of their stomachs, and the Saiyans both fell towards the ground, defeated. Both of them began to revert back into humans. Vegeta bled out on the ground, and he cursed Nappa. Vegeta took his final breath. Tursa awoke after having been given a senzu bean, and she saw Nappa bleeding on the ground. She ran towards him, and Nappa smiled. She began to cry. She began to realize all her friends, Nappa, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, they were all dead. She's promised she would bring him and all the others back. She would bring back her planet, and she thanked Nappa for what he had done. Because of him, she had been able to live to fight another day. She swore that she would take down Frieza so he could truly be free, and Nappa smiled as he passed away, his final words being, "Thank you, Tursa." And I think we'll end it there. Now, I was really sick when I'm in this recording, so please excuse me if it wasn't as good as usual. I am really, really sick. I've been coughing nonstop, and I have a really runny nose. Hopefully it wasn't too obvious that I was sick, but yeah. So, what did you guys think of this part? I'd also like to mention that there is no romantic interest between Tursa and Nappa. Tursa isn't getting with Vegeta. She's not getting with Nappa. Nappa's way too old for her. So, yeah, you'll just have to see how their relationship develops. But with that all said, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. What did you think of Nappa basically turning good and actually helping in the defeat of Vegeta? What did you think of Vegeta destroying Planet Eariler, just like in the original, but with an even more evil and savage intent? What did you think of Piccolo using the special beam cannon, killing Nappa and Vegeta, oddly similar to how he killed Goku and Raditz in the original? And what did you think of Uzaru, Gohan, and Nappa, both going in and attacking Vegeta, stopping him in the process? Let me know all of these thoughts down in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your comments, so feel free to comment anything you want. And with that said, I'd like to say, make sure you drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on that bell so you know as soon as I upload, and check out my Instagram, which is AndrezoWorks, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.